This is Too Far Enterprises, and today this video will be focused on the mentality of people subjected to perceived power and authority of individuals over them, namely slavery and how it might have affected black folks, how it has affected black folks. So in order to do that, I'm going to draw a comparison between the Stanford prison experiment and slavery. The Stanford prison experiment was conducted in 1971 by psychologist Philip Zimbardo to study the psychological effects of perceived power and authority on individuals. The experiment involved randomly assigning participants to either the role of prisoner or guard in a simulated prison environment. This was on a college campus. Now imagine if this was on a ship or a plantation. Although that we have to note that this experiment cannot fully capture or represent the complex and brutal realities of slavery. In terms of similarities, both the experiment and slavery involve power dynamics and exploration of human behavior under extreme circumstances. In both cases, there's an establishment of hierarchical structure that one group holds power over another. Additionally, both situations can lead to dehumanization and mistreatment as individuals are subject to oppressive conditions. However, it is crucial to acknowledge that these similarities should not be mistaken for the equivalence between the two experiences. Slavery was a historical institution characterized by systematic racism, economic exploitation, physical violence, and long-term bondage which lasted for generations. This study was supposed to last for 2 weeks, but they had to cancel it within 6 days because of the gravity of the situation. The fact that the guards had become too violent on the prisoners. And this was peers, treating their peers like that. This was not slavery. So what we're telling you is that when people have too much authority over other people, they can become tyrannical, and they subject those people that are under their care to increasingly brutal circumstances, and they use a lot of methods to abuse the prisoners or the slaves, okay? Like taking away their beds and putting prisoners in different cells. In this experiment, in slavery, they whipped them. They took away their language. They took away their history. They took away their culture, okay? They told them they couldn't read, okay? Then they forced them to work from can't see in the morning to can't see at night for no pay. Now, why am I bringing all of this up? Yesterday, I did an experiment of my own. I wanted to see psychologically if I put somebody who was actually going through times such as slavery, even though they weren't actually called slaves in Mississippi back there in the 60s, sometimes they received the same type of treatment, okay? They might have not been getting whipped, but they might have been getting murdered like Emmett Till, okay? They may have been so scared that they were not exercising their rights because they were afraid to get killed or do anything, okay? And I wanted to see how that psychology worked when you looked at other people that looked like you. And I wanted to know, how did you see yourself when you looked in the mirror? You see, people forget that during slavery, the protector was taken out sometime and whipped half to death, burned and lynched, okay? Right in front of his family, or torn apart by 2 horses, okay? Right in front of his family. okay, to show everybody that they had total control over them, and to strike fear in those people's hearts so that they would comply with any request, and that the mothers especially would fear for their sons. I wanted to know, why do we see somebody like Fannie Lou Hamer, okay, and why are we embarrassed? Why are we embarrassed about our hair, okay, when we don't understand that our hair is this way for a reason? And if you look it up, you'll understand why it is that way. You're supposed to have hair like this. You have dominant genes. In reference to the cosmos and the energy in this world, our hair is supposed to be able to connect with our environment. Okay? Everything about us is great, but we don't know it. We don't want to even study. We don't want to know the truth. I wanted to tell you that I'm here trying to bring some information to my people, my community, and sometimes people just don't want to hear that. They want long flowing hair, long fingernails, and they want to look like the person that wants to look like them. We don't know our history, and because of that, our people suffer for a lack of history and of knowledge. And when we should love one another, we're selfish. We hate ourselves, so therefore we hate anybody that looks like us. We're so busy trying to fit in. We don't know even what to call ourselves. I said make a choice. I understand that a lot of people have heritage that they really truly believe in. My great-grandmother was a full-blooded Indian, but you wouldn't have never heard her say that, because once she married a black man, she understood where she was from that point on. Nobody was going to recognize her Indian history. If you are Indian, and like you say you are, where is your tribal lands? Where are your casinos? What money do you get from the federal government? What benefits do you get for being an Indian? Even though you were here long before other people might have been in Americas and all over the world, can't you see that because of your skin color and because of your true heritage, that you will not get anything? And one thing about it is, although Africa populated the world and populated everybody because they're mutation from Africa, we have yet to get rid of the people who are steady taking money out of Africa and trying to get more land. They will not leave us alone. It's not about us trying to be somebody else. You see, and I want people to understand that if we are so insignificant, well, just leave us alone, okay? But you know they can't do that, because we are significantly intertwined with Africa, the Americas, South America. Everywhere in this world, we are there. We were there first most of the time. And we have failed to realize our greatest potential. And that is to start loving yourself first and loving your people. The fear that everyone on this earth has is that people of color will come together. It's already happening, and that's why they're doing the things that they're doing. Because they talk about 2050, what, you know, most of the population will probably be people of color. But right now, today, they're in fear of that. And that's why they pit one against the other. This is too far enterprises. Please, listen.